And we are back. Welcome to Huxwrx Tactical Podcast, episode 30. I'm here with my homies. I have Omar.
Hello.
Luke Andrews.
What up?
And the amazing Dean Carroll.
What's going on?
How amazing are you lately, Dean?
I'm always amazing.
Are you always? What makes you amazing?
Just being me.
What makes you amazing lately?
Let's see.
Have you dinged steel out to 2,000 yards yet?
2,000? No, we have not.
What have you gotten out to?
1 mile, which is like, I don't know, 1,700?
One fucking mile?
Yeah.
And
mile.
you, like, what were your groups at 1 mile?
Oh, you can't see groups at 1 mile. You just pray and hope you can hit the target.
Really? How big is the steel?
I think that was 8 foot diameter.
8 foot wide or 8 foot tall?
A circle of just 8 foot.
Oh, so that's a big
Yeah.
target.
Yeah.
It's like you're going for the skunk ape.
What'd you guys think of the skunk ape?
It was entertaining.
It was cool.
What about you, Omar? Did you watch the episode? You didn't watch that episode, did you?
I watched the clips that got released from it, and when I first asked who's going to be on the podcast to Eric just told me the skunk ape. I was like, "What's the skunk ape?" And he goes, "You know, like Sasquatch." I was like, "You're not answering my question. Who's going to be on the podcast?" And he's like, "You don't know who Bigfoot is?" And I was like, "Dude, who's going to be on the podcast?" And he's like, "Guess you'll have to see." And I was like, "Who the fuck is on the podcast?" And it's Vadim.
It's Vadim.
That was kind of surprising, but yeah.
Oh, you didn't know.
No, he just kept telling me it was Bigfoot. And then when I asked him to clarify, I just gave another name for Bigfoot.
It's the Yeti. It's the podcast. It's it. Yeah. Yeah, Vadim.
I wish he ever had pictures of it that he took. That would have been fun.
I don't think he'd be on our podcast if he had pictures of it that he took. He'd be on his own podcast or something. I think we should have him on again.
I agree.
I think we should just do like a fucked up story episode.
Okay.
Like
Yeah.
like Vadim, like we'll say we want your 20 or your top 10 best fucked up stories in detail and his like analysis of them and what they mean. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
All right. If you're watching, we appreciate it. Just want to let you know, if you could, like our YouTube page, if you see this, you can also find us on Facebook and Instagram. We just got our Facebook page back, which is really cool. We're on TikTok and X as well. And I want to do a shout out to Omni Energy Drinks, who is our kind of sponsor. Every Tuesday when we shoot the podcast, Omni brings over a case of energy drinks. I then throw them in the freezer for half a day and they don't freeze, which is weird. And then we drink them during the podcast. They are delicious, completely healthy. I don't know how they do that. Right? There's no sugar. There's no additives or anything. It's like some health bullshit.
Oh, yeah, nice.
Yeah, like they're supposed to be kind of decent and I love them. Omni Energy Drinks. Thank you. And also I'd like to throw a shout out to the painters of Huxwrx Tactical. They brought me a present today. This is a pirated Dungeons and Dragons, but it's it's Dragons and Treasure pirated Lego set from China or somewhere. And they thought I would like it because I am a geek about Dungeons and Dragons and WoW and all things medieval. So thank you. Omar, how was your movie that you missed the podcast for?
Oh, it's great.
What do you mean? And Titan, did it end?
Oh, yeah, it ended a year ago.
Well, I know it ended a year ago, but like they came out with the movie, so that's an extension of an ending.
That's what everybody thought. And then it ended up just being them making fun of the people who wanted a different ending. And it was hilarious and amazing.
What? So there was like Chinese creators on there. Oh, we make fun of you. Are you not going to tell me?
No, so Attack on Titan is the greatest TV show ever made, as well as being the greatest story ever told in fiction. 100%. And they ended the show, in my opinion, in the most perfect way you could possibly end that show. And it was very like character focused and all that. And a lot of people were like freaking out about it, being like, "Oh my God, all these loose ends, this question wasn't answered, whatever happened with it?" Freaking out over it completely, in my opinion, missing the point of the ending. So the alternate ending that they said was going to be in this movie was just the main characters of the show sitting in a movie theater having just watched the finale of the show and one of them's freaking out, going, "Oh my god, all these questions unanswered. Have you seen what the forums look like?" And the other
Wait.
person,
So in anime,
Mhm.
so like they're anime creatures or anime people are watching anime in the movie theater?
yeah, no, the ending was literally making fun of you at that moment.
No, not making fun of me, making fun of you.
Well, yeah, you get what I mean. I'm not. In Turkish, we have different "yous" for different contexts. You guys lack that. That's one thing that never translated over. For
Oh
me.
man.
There's a different "you" for referring to you people, and you specifically, you the person I'm talking to.
Like the time I got in trouble with the government one time, and when like I was fighting for my life, and their whole argument was using the word "you."
Yeah.
It was
Well, that depends on what your definition of the word is.
and they had the arbitrary. They were arbitrarily allowed to define what "you" was.
That's awesome.
That was great. Anyway, so no, back to okay. All of my family is into Titan in a bad way. Like they're all incredibly, every one of them.
Well, it's because it's the greatest fictional story ever written. I'm not an anime nerd, by the way. I don't watch any other ones. This is the one, and it's peak. I had to be forced. I had to be locked in a room to watch it because I told myself I'm not a nerd. I'm never gonna fucking watch anime. All this.
It's better than Game of Thrones season 1, 2, and 3.
I haven't watched Game of Thrones, so I can't
So
comment
then
on
you
that. But I
can't
can say
say-
without the shadow of a doubt, 100% yes.
Well, how can you say that's not? I don't know. Season 1, 2, and 3 is pretty good.
Yeah, my current roommate actually, he watched it and he was like, "Oh my fucking god!" And he told me to watch it. And I was like, "I'm not fucking watching some Japanese cartoon." And he invited me over to his house for something completely different, then locked me in his room until I started watching it. And I couldn't be more thankful. I have a lot of gratitude for him doing that because
But
it's
the ending is the people in Titan in a movie theater watching a movie and then kind of making fun of the people who watch Titan.
specifically the alternate ending that was supposed to be in the movie. Like the show ended in the story ending, and some people were upset by it. So upset that some people are.
Doesn't everybody just die or something?
I can't comment on that. I would never spoil something so beautiful. But they release a movie in theaters that's supposed to be the ending of the show again with an alternate scene at the end that they tease to be an alternate ending. And turns out the alternate ending was just the main character sitting in a movie theater having finished the show and making fun of all the people who wanted a different ending.
And it was an anime.
Yes.
That's pretty cool.
It was really funny. And the way that it the way it finally ended is the two like side characters are arguing about if it was a great ending or if it was a horrible ending, and then they look at the main character and they go, "What did you think?" And he just goes, "I'm just glad I got to watch it with you guys." And
Aww.
we're at the theater having just watched this, me and my two friends, and both of them look at me and go, "What do you think?" Because I'm in the middle. And I go, "I'm just glad I got to watch it with you guys."
From my watching Titan with the kids and my wife, like you couldn't. Like everybody just kept dying. Like those big fucking things kept killing everybody. Like you'd get
just if you ever want to experience
I'll go.
sit through the whole thing, watch it with the dubs. You don't even have to watch subtitles. The dubs are pretty good. It's amazing. It's peak.
You watch some of it, Will?
Oh yeah. I mean, it's a thing in my house.
Yeah.
Like my two sons are into it, my daughter's into it, the other daughter's into it, my wife is into it. Like they're all into that anime shit. I'm not into that stuff.
Again, neither am I. I had to be
It
forced
was a
to watch
good show. I watched it.
Oh no, not you two,
I
Dean.
did watch it.
God
I didn't
damn.
watch the movie. He went and go see it.
It's
But I watched it.
It's just the exact same as the ending of the.
Oh, so yeah, I've
but
seen it.
yeah, it's just literally 30 seconds at the end making fun of people like
It's
you who
decent.
wanted a different ending.
It's decent.
Okay, maybe someday.
Do you agree that it's the best fiction story ever told?
I would say no.
It's a
up
bold
there.
claim. It's a bold claim, but
Yeah, I mean, that
it's
would be-
very good.
That would be, the Lord of the Rings trilogy. I mean, okay, we can
Would
debate
you
that.
like? Would you like
can-
it as? I just want to ask. Would you like the Lord of the Rings story as much if it wasn't the movies? Like just reading the books. If
Oh,
the
yeah.
If the movies were never made, you just read the books, you would think it's as good.
It would be better.
Really
Mm-hmm.
interesting.
It'd be better. But the Tolkien books, there's college curriculum developed on Tolkien and the whole medieval fantasy universe is basically him. It's just him and what he wrote.
You know, he invented orcs.
Yeah.
That's crazy to me. I always thought that was like a fantasy thing, like elves and
No,
he just made orc a thing, and now it's in everything.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. I mean,
That's good
everything from World of Warcraft is Tolkien.
Yeah.
Basically, everything from everything is Tolkien,
Nice.
and it's a story about it's a story derived from his experiences in World War One.
Oh wow, I didn't know any of that.
Yeah, he had a bunch of friends who died.
Yeah.
And it was like there were four. I mean, anyway. That's another thing entirely.
That's awesome.
So let's talk about the Staccato HD. Do we have it?
I do have one.
Maybe we can wait for Eric to get a little close up of it, and he's back there looking at guns. So the Staccato HD came out, and we are a Staccato dealer, and we saw it at SHOT Show and played with it a lot. We didn't get a chance to shoot it because we opted to go to Range Day instead of Staccato Day because our booth got fucked up and we had to work on the booth and didn't have enough time. So we're like, do we go to Staccato or do we go to the Range Day? And we went to the Range Day, and now it's here.
Love it.
That's the first one that came in. We didn't sell it, and we've been making optic plates for it. Not a bad idea, right?
No, it's an amazing idea because their optic plates are like a month out.
2 months.
So they release on their website. It says 2 to 4 weeks, but I don't know how much I believe that. But yeah, they released the gun with a proprietary mounting system that they didn't release the plates with at the same time. That's a little odd.
The rep told the gunsmith that they were 120 days, that they're 60 days out.
Yeah,
not 4 weeks.
On the website, it says 2 to 4. So we'll see when they actually start shipping. But they let you give them money for them. Just God knows when it'll show up at your door.
That would be a real bummer.
Yeah,
I think it would be kind of cool. It would force you to shoot with iron sights.
Yeah, but that gun is just begging for a.
Yeah, they made the gun optic focused, which, by the way, I just want to say that the whole concept of having the rear sight in front of your optic, I think, makes infinitely more sense. Because at the end of the day, these are backup iron sights at this point. If your red dot is your primary optic, my opinion on backup iron sights is backup iron sights are all fine and dandy up until the point they start infringing on your primary optic.
Okay.
And this way, when they're in front of your optic, there's no way that the rear sight can cover up your dot at all. You can just look with both of your eyes open. You can look straight through both of the sights. And even if your dot ends up being in front of it, at least it's not behind it. Your dot can never hide behind the rear sight. So this setup is perfect for the modern handgun, which should have a red dot on it. And they released it without the ability to mount a red dot on it.
Yeah, they did.
Very interesting.
You can't if you buy the Staccato HD, you cannot put an optic on it for at least 2 to 4 weeks. So what we did right when we got the Staccato HD in, we took the first one that we did and we gave it to our machinist or our engineer. And right now we have a working SRO plate, and we're probably by tomorrow we'll have the RMR plate, we'll have the Romeo 3 plate, and we'll have the Acro plate for that.
To date, we're the only company that makes the Romeo 3 plate for a Staccato.
Yeah,
now
to date.
Now it's going to be for 2 Staccatos.
Yeah, for your Romeo 3. That one right there.
That's right. Romeo 3 XL on a Staccato.
It's one of the cool things you could do with $100,000 machines. Make Staccato plates.
Would you like me to touch on the HD?
Yeah, please. I mean, what do you think about the HD?
I love it. I think it's the greatest.
Wait. Hold on. What does Dean think about it? Because Dean never talks about guns ever again. He doesn't give a fuck about anything anymore.
I actually like it. It feels nice, but just like you guys, I haven't shot it, but just holding it, I like it. I'm not a fan of the Glock grip angle because I don't shoot Glocks anymore.
So does it have a Glock grip angle?
Staccato says it's still a 2011 grip angle.
Really?
That's what Staccato says.
Do you think it's a Glock grip angle?
It definitely feels different than the 1911s, but it's not a full 1-to-1 Glock. It's almost like a hybrid.
It kind of is.
In my opinion, it's kind of like a hybrid in between because it doesn't feel like a regular Staccato, but it also is not as aggressive as a Glock is.
All right, so now I like it even more because I already like the gun. I was a little apprehensive about the grip angle, but I actually do present this out flat. It's a good gun. I would love to try one.
So when like all the hype leading up to SHOT Show, and then once I got to touch it, and I think we touched on this last time we were here, once you got to play with it, I remember the first thing I did when I got back to the booth, I'm like, everybody needs to go touch that gun and play with it.
Yep.
And then they'll see. I just love the fucking trigger.
Trigger's great.
That's how I just felt the trigger.
Yeah,
This thing is amazing.
it's. Do you like that trigger more than the present staccato trigger?
The P, yes. The XL and the XC, no.
Okay, I think
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I don't know about that. I think I like it more.
Well, the XL and the XC have like the competition trigger in them, which you can't beat a competition trigger with a duty trigger ever. But this,
You think that's duty right there?
yeah.
You don't think it's like a hybrid duty where it is technically a duty trigger, but it's so good that it can be used for competition?
Like a lot of things, they've found the perfect like in between where, again, just like the grip angle, it's not 100% 2011, but it's not a Glock. Same with the trigger. It's not like a C2 or a P trigger, but it's not an XL or an XC trigger either. I think they found the perfect middle ground on a lot of things on this thing. On top of that, everything is ambi now. Slide catch, safety, very nice.
Oh, that wasn't before.
My favorite feature of it is no stupid grip safety.
Yes.
Because you don't need it.
Yes. Get rid of that grip safety.
You've got Glock mags that comes with 2 mech
Oh, it's
guard.
green.
Yeah, the follower is bright. These are mech guard Glock mags. They're metal, but it will just take regular plastic Glock mags or any Glock pattern mags.
How mad do you think Duramag is that they don't have that mag out yet? They don't care.
I don't think so. I think they've got enough going. They made a fucking silencer. I'm sure they've got enough things on their plate.
So
They did.
why do you think they made that gun?
From what the Staccato rep told me, this is all the advice and requests that they've gotten over the years since becoming Staccato put into one gun. So a better optic mounting system. This is completely different from the regular Staccato ones. It has nothing to do with Dawson. The screws go through plates and mount directly onto your slide. So you're not mounting screws onto aluminum and then having the aluminum screw onto the steel. It's just one single screw going all the way down to the slide, which is great. Less points of failure. It kind of addresses the main issue with plates while still keeping it modular for several different optics.
Mm-hmm.
The rear sight forward they had to do because of how this optic cut works, but I personally see it as a huge benefit. The Glock mag thing is amazing. These are much nicer than the $120 Staccato mags for availability and being able to buy them, obviously. It is an 80 series, so it is completely drop safe. In my opinion, this is taking it to the next level of the Staccato P is like you could see it as like the nicest duty gun you could have, but you could also see it as like the most reliable competition gun, like compromise wise. In my opinion, this is a truly perfect duty handgun. It is beefed up in the places it needs to be beefed up. It is 100% drop safe. It uses Glock mags. It is every feature you would want in a duty gun, but now a Staccato. I think they made it to full commit to that, like basically every agency that has the money but still hasn't adopted Staccatos for concerns over whether it be drop safety or any of these things, now they can all make the switch over. This is like you have no excuses if you're a police department and you have money.
Yeah.
Use a Staccato.
Yeah, I heard that some federal law enforcement won't adopt a pistol that's not drop safe.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why they came out with the Series 80.
That's what they told me.
No, I think this is perfect. I think this is amazing. It's not and I've seen a lot of people make the comparison of like trying to be like, well, is it as good as the XC? It's a completely different purpose for it. It's not
Correct.
the same purpose as the other Staccatos they've made so far.
Or the XL.
Or the XL. Like, this is a gun that's nice enough to where you would do very well in competition, but it is, in its heart, a duty gun. In my opinion, 2011s from inception have always been competition-focused guns that can be used for duty, and that's kind of what the Staccato P was. It's a competition gun taken to its most duty limit.
And when you say duty, like duty, do you think everybody, when you use the word duty, it means like working, law enforcement, military?
Yeah, I mean, it's
or do people understand what that word means?
Probably. It's not my favorite word, but it is kind of what is standardized in the industry to say like duty pistol. I personally don't like using those phrases except to communicate to people what I'm trying to say. Because like me personally, I'm a 22-year-old gun shop employee. I'm not going to war. I'm not doing duty. I'm not, I have a war belt. I'm not going to war with it. It's just the terminology that the firearms industry uses that I usually try to clarify. Like when I say duty pistol, I'm like, again, I'm not a This is my hard use rifle. My hard use being shooting at the flat range of paper or mag dumping into trash. It's just the terminology that the industry has chosen, and I'm not changing it.
Do you think that has to do with size too? Would you say that? Because
Yeah.
a lot of people say duties.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
for sure.
Size
Yeah,
and
like there's a
trigger?
difference between a carry gun and a duty gun, and
Right.
people kind of quite understand that. I think the concept that people arrive to when you say duty gun is it is too big to comfortably concealed carry every day. It is meant to go on an outside the waistband holster and be used in life-saving situations,
Okay.
which doesn't really apply to a civilian because especially down in Florida where we don't have open carry, you're not really open carrying a lot. But this, in my mind, is what it's for. This is going on a war belt or a combat belt
A
in
war
a
belt.
Safari Land holster with a durable red dot on it and put holes in people.
Are you looking for one?
Yes.
Do you want to get one?
Kind of do.
Might be nice. Might be a good idea to be nice to Andrew.
Yeah. I'm very happy with this thing. Specifically the 4.5. I'm waiting for the 4.5. Oh, if I were to get one, that's the one I would get.
What's that one? 5?
It's the exact same barrel length. It just has a front sight block at the front that doesn't.
Yeah. That one's not supposed to drop until summer.
Yeah, that's the one I'm super excited about because
The recoil reduction issue.
yeah,
Recoil reduction feature.
it keeps mass at the front, keeping your barrel down as you're shooting. The slide reciprocation is going to be the exact same as this one because it's the exact same barrel length with the exact same moving slide. It just has a 1/2 inch long block at the end with your front sight post on it, so your front sight post doesn't move.
Do you remember when Pierce was doing podcasts with us and he got all pissed off because we were talking about the state of the industry and how nobody is trying to do anything innovative? Remember that?
Let me see.
And then Staccato comes out with the HD.
I really like it.
They took me up in their little Staccato office, or like I got to go upstairs for our yearly meeting, and they told me they were working on it for the last 2 years. They knew that they were coming out with it about a year ago, everybody there, and they've been trying to make it and have it ready to launch in 2 years, or since for the last 2 years. The cool thing about it is they learned from the launch of the C2 or the CS. Like the CS, we had like 100 pre-orders. So many people pre-ordered it, and it took so long for them to come out. And they said they learned from that, and it's not going to be that way. Like we're seeing a steady stream of like at least one a day. Like I get like at least one a day is coming. So like we're not getting inundated. We're not getting 30 of them, but they're trickling, and at least they're coming. So they're building them. So I think it's great. I think maybe I should just give it to myself. What do you think?
I think so, and I think you should give it to me to make a video on it.
We're going to do that. If Eric will agree to go shoot a video on Saturday, and if Kevin will let us come to his house, I'm going to gear one out as long as we have the plate, and you can go shoot the fuck out of it.
I think that plate's going to be a big deal, especially for going forward in the future for optic footprints that Staccato themselves won't make, like the Romeo 3. It's going to be a big thing, but specifically in this first month, if you can advertise it successfully, if you can brand it and market it successfully, I can guarantee you nobody's going to buy that and not want to put a red dot on it.
All we have to do is just go to I guess apparently what like the top Staccato. Fuck, I'm high as a motherfucker on these things. The good Omni is talking to me. So apparently what a lot of the shops do, like the little secret is a lot of the shops will go to the Staccato pages on Facebook and like sell but not sell things. Like, so the top shops in Florida, that's what they do. And I just won't be bothered with it, but it's probably a good idea. Like once the plates launch, like jump, because there's no one out there who has them. Mm-hmm. But I'm sure every machine shop is thinking about it because there is no original idea, but we could just pop on there and hey, I got plates.
Yeah. The big plus is going to be, we already have a well-established website where people can go and purchase something. We already have all of that, all the logistics of it set up. Like I said, the biggest thing is just going to be getting the information out. And what I'm planning on doing is as soon as we have them for release is just browsing forums where people going, anybody got a Staccato plate yet? Yes, these guys. And that'll take off because that's where I see our name the most when it comes to our previous Staccato plates. On the entire internet, the time I see Huxworks Tactical the most is people going on a AR15.com forum or a Reddit forum and asking, hey, anybody know how I can put a Romeo 3 on my Staccato? And the top comment is always, oh, these guys called Huxwrx Tactical make one. I got mine. I'm very happy with it. And then people
cool.
second it. Same thing with our mag extensions and stuff. It's very good.
I love our mag extensions.
What do you
Yeah.
feel?
That's all I ever wanted, like, was to build. All I ever wanted when we got a CNC machine was to make mag extensions, because, like, you could only get Terran mag extensions, and they're fucking $50 back in the day.
I really like the little shark gun on there.
Yeah, I love it too.
No shark gun on this one. This is
So
one of
what
the
do you-
originals, though.
What do you think about What did you think about Huxwork?
Me?
Yeah, because you went and did your video. You and Eric went and did the video, and how many you put? Like what? 500 rounds?
Yeah, I dumped a lot of your ammo. Thank you.
Oh.
This thing I could not be more excited about. When I went to SHOT Show,
What is that?
this is the Flow 9K Ti. This is their newest 9mm can. They did have a 9mm can before. This is better in every single way. I am blown out of the water. I was not expecting this, because the stigma is flow-through cans are less back pressure, sure, but they're not as quiet. And that's what everybody who shits on flow-through cans say. This is quieter than an Omega 9K. And in my mind, that's the baseline for a 9mm pistol can. Significantly quieter. I couldn't believe it, because I
don't agree.
What?
I don't agree. It's significantly quieter than the Omega 9K.
I can prove it to you. I can verifiably prove it to you.
I own both.
Yeah, I went out to the range. I put this on my Glock 17. I shot an entire mag of 22 rounds out of it. And by the end of it, there was zero disruption in my ears at all. Like no plugging or ringing or anything like that. It was completely fine, like well below hearing safe level. And I took it off and I was like, okay, that's cool. And then I put the Omega 9K on, expecting it to be even quieter. And from the first round, my ears got plugged up. And by the third round, my ears started ringing. And by the fifth round, I couldn't hear anymore.
Yeah, but you don't think that was just attrition to your ears?
No. Because then I put this one back on and it was back to being zero.
I respect your opinion, and I'll go with it, but I don't know if it's that much better than the Omega 9K.
At the end of the day, I'm looking for a 9mm can to put on my pistol so that I can shoot it at the range without putting my ear pro on. And this does that, and the Omega 9K doesn't. And this thing is 4 ounces.
See, I never not wear ear pro.
Well, yeah, I usually do too, but it's for niche circumstances.
I want to protect my ears
Yeah,
Yeah,
as much
exactly.
as possible.
Hold that. Like,
Oh, I mean, I'm
it comes out of the box with a piston. I think that's underpriced as hell, by the way. I think Huxworks definitely should have charged more for that can.
no, they did that on purpose.
Probably, but it comes out of the box with a piston. Every other 9mm can on the market, you have to buy it separately, basically.
No, I like I like flow through cans. I like Huxwork.
Mhm.
I like
Oh, and it is Bravo threaded, hub threads, so you can put any mounting system you want on it. And in the box, for free, it comes with a Bravo to Alpha adapter, so you can put the same mounting system you might have had on your Omega 9K on it. So you can mount both Bravo
No,
and
it's-
Alpha threads.
it's
This
huge.
This is amazing.
No, it is. I mean, I'm with you.
Flow 9K Ti, I will be buying one. I wish I could change my top 5 video I did for SHOT Show, because at SHOT Show, when he told me about this, I still had the idea in my head. It's flow through. It's not going to be as quiet. The Silencer Co. Spectre 9K will be quieter than this one, because Omega, it's the same quietness as an Omega 9K, all that. No, after shooting it, this is the one I'm buying. Literally the moment that Andrew gives me the form for it, I will fill it out and buy it.
It might be like, so I would like to seriously get out there and get Spectre 9K, Spectre 9, Omega, Mojave. I would really like to get out there and get footage of all of it, and shoot it. But I just I'm not saying I don't like it. I do like it. I like the price point. I like the ingenuity. I like the packaging. I like the stuff it comes with. I think it's great. I like how they came out with it. But when I shot it on my Strybog, I was like, it's not that much different. And because when you came back and were like, oh my God, no, I was like, holy shit, okay. And I immediately put it on my Strybog, and I took it out the next day, and I'm like, it's okay. I mean, it's good, and there is no gas at all, no gas, and there's a little bit of a recoil reduction, just a little bit, And but I didn't think it was that quieter than the Omega 9K. But I mean, that just means I need to go shoot it more. Either way, though, the Omega 9K at the present price point is 550, 600, right? And that's $599
Ridiculous.
if you're a friend with benefits.
Yeah, the
You're at Shark Coast.
9K is what, 15 years old? Like, that's an old can.
This is not that old.
I'm 22 years old.
Everything is old to you, right?
Yeah, right.
Everything's fucking.
I'm saying 15 years, and in your mind, that probably sounds like, yeah, that's a little amount of time. That's most of my life.
No, 15. No, it came out probably 6 years ago.
Yeah, Omega 9K is an older can, and it's
Which
significantly
you were 14, right?
Yeah,
You're 14 years old. Way back then.
it dropped in price point since it came out. This is at its release price is how expensive this is, and that's the other thing. Omega 9K doesn't come with a piston.
It doesn't come with shit.
You got to buy that for $89.
$89.
This one not only comes with a piston, it comes with a hub to alpha adapter.
Right, which is huge.
It's amazing.
It comes with the thing. Yeah. So we're doing Huxwork Day. Andrew, the Huxwork reps, is a friend of ours, and we're going to do an in-store event Saturday, which so you probably won't even. But we do events with Huxwork, and this is going to be the thing. I am a big fan of. I think it's an incredible deal. Like, we're going to be doing them for just wicked cheap, and you get a bunch of shit with it, and it should be all the rage. But it is hard to decide with. You have the Mojave 9 that's out, which everybody loves. I love. You have the Spectre 9, which is out and everybody loves. You have the Omega 9K, which is still like the legacy can, and now you have this. And so you have all these choices. But flow through, it's quiet, it's cheap, and it's quality. So it's pretty hard to beat.
So if I wanted to put this on my AR9, it has a bird cage on it with everything that comes in the box, what would I need?
So you would have to
You
either
gotta change out everything.
Not really. You would either have to, if you want to quick detach it, you would either have to buy a different muzzle device and a different adapter for the back of this thing to marry them together. Or what you can do is replace the spring in there with a fixed barrel spacer, which shouldn't be an expensive part. And then you can thread it directly onto your barrel with a piston. You just don't want to do that with a spring that's in there, because then the can will be moving as you shoot and chances of a baffle strike. But if you just replace the spring with a little metal ring, fixed spacers, then you'd be able to throw it on anything.
I have never cared about baffle strikes, and I have had many.
You own a gun store.
I've had so many. Have you ever taken a look at a lot of my cans back there? They're all fucking baffle struck.
That is one thing I'd like to mention. Is, these are completely 3D printed as a single piece. If this gets a baffle strike, there's no repairing it. That kind of sucks. Yeah, that's one.
And they're not that nice, right?
That is one thing to keep in mind when buying a Hux can, and I feel the need to say it, is price to performance wise. I think they blow a lot of other cans on the market out of the water. Warranty wise, they're probably one of the worst. Dead air. If you buy the Mojave 9, you fucking intentionally shoot a 338 Lapua through that thing, blow it up. They will probably still replace it completely for free.
Yep, as long as you're not a dick.
Yeah. That's one thing to keep in mind.
Yeah, as long as you're not a dick. Call Mike up.
Dead air.
Mike, we thought your suppressor could take it. I respect that. I respect that. That's something probably he would say. I love that fucking guy.
I love Kane so much.
I wish I lived by Mike.
Papa's?
It'd be kind of cool, if we had it'd be really cool if we all retire or we make a lot of money somehow and we all live in a trailer park.
Just have fun.
Just have fun. It's Kane, Mike Papas. No, that's probably bad.
What?
What about the 36 Ti? What do you think of that? So go into that for a bit.
For people who that's their thing, fucking great. So the Omega 36M is the easiest one to compare it to because they kind of do the same thing. And I would argue it's better than the.
You got to explain what it is to Dean because he doesn't know. Dean doesn't fucking get into guns anymore.
So a 36 caliber can is a great multi-cal suppressor because it can do 9mm, but it's also rated for rifle cans that fit in the 9mm hole. So anything up to 338 Lapua Magnum down to 22 and all rifle.
Could you pass it to me real quick?
Sure thing. So this is a great can if it's your first can and you want to be able to suppress most of the things you've got. It's not a true hybrid like a 46 cal where you'd be able to run 45 out of it. But if the fattest round you're shooting is 9mm, those are great because 90% of the time when I was working the suppressor counter, when people come in, we ask them what calibers are you looking to suppress, and 90% of the time their answer is I've got a 9mm, I've got a 5.56, and I've got a 308 or a 300 blackout or something 30 cal as well.
Have you felt it yet, Dean?
No.
You should touch it. You should touch it.
And these do all of it.
Touch it, Dean.
This does up to a 9mm hole and any rifle caliber that fits in there. So it's a great choice for a first-time can buyer that wants to suppress multiple things. It's not personally my cup of tea because I'm a buy a specific can for a specific gun kind of guy.
Mm-hmm.
But I understand that's not everybody. Not everybody wants to pay a $200 tax stamp and fill out federal paperwork to send it in every time they get a new gun they want to suppress. For the multi-cal people out there, I think that's better than what has been on the market for that option.
Does it come with all the goodies in the box, like the 9mm?
That one comes with their own
hub adapter.
Yeah, it comes with their own mounting system. It doesn't come with a muzzle device, so you'd have to buy a muzzle device to put it onto something. You can't put that onto something right out of the box, but it is hub threaded, so you can take that off and put whatever mounting system you want in there.
The thing I think that's really interesting about it that hasn't been done before is its application to handguns.
Yeah, that the biggest problem is usually these cans, the 36 caliber cans, whether that be the Wolfman or the Omega or the Alaskan, whatever they are, they're usually pretty heavy. And what you can theoretically put a piston mount on them and put them on a handgun and use them.
They're heavy and bulky.
A lot of pistols don't like that because of how heavy they are. Like you can put a 36M on your pistol, but it will feel sluggish because it's a lot of weight to be putting on there, even with a Nielsen device.
And that's about the weight of a, let's say, like a Octane 9.
Yeah, this is
probably
I think,
weighs lighter.
8.5 ounces, I think this is. Like ridiculously light to where it causes no issues shooting it on a handgun. And this is not going to be a big deal for most people, but it is for me. Is on my Wolfman, the thing I was most disappointed with is that the piston mount doesn't actually go into the can. It just hangs off. So you're adding probably 1 or 2 inches of length just to be able to put the piston in. Oh. The 36 Ti has space inside and the piston goes into the can. So it doesn't add any extra length to the back of it when you want to put it on your handgun, which I see as a big plus.
Makes sense?
Yeah.
So like you could basically use it as a 9mm pistol can. You can't really ever do that with hybrid, like the old school hybrid, the hybrid 46M now, the Omega 36M, the Wolfman. They're really not applicable as pistol caliber cans. As a pistol can.
Yeah.
But that actually is. It's just a couple of and the mechanisms behind, like the whole hub thing, adding the piston is simple. It's not a pain in the ass like the other stuff. Like you could actually just buy it as a 9mm can and use it. And it'll work really well.
And you have the option if you ever want to shoot a rifle caliber out.
Yeah. Oh, it comes with it. It's right there.
This is for the Flow 9K. I just took it out of its box. But
it'll go right in there, won't it?
Yeah, it's the exact same part. So if you buy both of these cans, you can use both of them on pistols.
Oh boy.
Or just buy this adapter separately. But this is what I mean, where it goes in to the can, and that's your piston mount. So it doesn't add any length coming out of the back. It sits flush with the back of the can, which is very nice.
See what I was talking about? Like innovation.
Yeah.
Like that's good. That's good shit that came out with this year. Here's like, no, it's not. I like AAC. He was so angry. I miss him. Do you guys know the story of Huxwrx?
No.
I mean, they approached us a lot over the years, trying to sell their cans, and because they were CGS for a number of years, and since they changed hands a couple of times, I was never into it. And then Andrew, who is now like our friend, came in here. And he bebopped in and he bebopped in and said, "Hey, I want you to buy our cans." And I said, your muzzle brake is the dumbest muzzle brake in the industry. No one's going to buy it. And he just like looked at me like, oh. I said, no, look. I said, here, look. This is your muzzle brake. Nobody's going to want this on their rifle. It just doesn't look cool enough. And then And then they came out with a different muzzle brake, and he came out and he's like, "Look, I have a different muzzle brake." And I said, "Okay," but then the stamps started coming back fucking really, really fast, and nobody cared about muzzle brakes anymore and how they look.
Yeah.
But back in the day, everybody cared about what the muzzle brake looked like. Now no one cares. And now they're our buddies.
I love Andrew. He treated me like a VIP at Shot. Did I tell you that?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, I walked over to the Huxworks booth and it was packed. And we're trying to film a video and it's going to take some time. So we're like, we'll circle back around. And then over the course of the entire day, every single time we circled back around to Huxworks, the booth was completely filled with people. Like, just, it can't even squeeze in there. And then at the corner of my eye, I see Andrew and I'm like, I know that guy. So I go up to him and I'm like, hey, how you doing, Andrew? And he immediately takes me to the person that's supposed to sign off on media stuff. They're like media manager or whatever. And he goes, this is Huxwrx Tactical. They are my best customer in Florida. Please do whatever you can to make them happy. And
Oh, fuck yeah.
she immediately got a sparkle in her eye and she was like, hey, you don't have to sign anything. Just go ahead and film whatever you'd like. And they like move people out of the way to make space for us to film the video for it. And that was a very nice experience. This is the 36 Ti on that pistol, by the way, with a piston mount. Like you said, it doesn't really...
It works.
Yeah, if I want to do it on my Wolfman, it's basically the entire length of the piston hanging off the back of the can.
I mean, it's comparable, just like a fucking Octane 9. You know, it looks like a regular can.
I mean, it's a little on the fatter end, but it's very light to where it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I took the jumbo shrimp off my gun and put. I did. I took the jumbo shrimp off my gun.
What'd you replace it with?
With the 36 Ti.
Weirdo.
I am fucking weird. No, this is awesome. But I've shot the jumbo shrimp a lot, and I want to get good range time underneath the Flow 36 Ti. I want to see how well it performs, and I think it's more of like you look at the range 36 Ti, where the fuck they want to call it. You look at it like a specific multi-use can, and I look at it like I think it will do good for the job that I want to do. Like if I was a regular customer, I would think about buying one just to put on my 5.56 because it has a lot of traits that I like. I can use my Q adapters. It's quiet kinda, and it works great with 5.56.
You know what else can use your Q adapters?
Q product. No, I'm when their new stuff comes out, I'll probably throw it away. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, I just find it funny how, like I said, I explained. For me, this doesn't really jive with me just because I'm
you
not
you wanted to call me a fly-by-night fan of Q, didn't you?
No. What I'm trying to get at is this is a multi-cal can, and you are the one person that owns the most amount of suppressors. I can guarantee you have one suppressor for every gun that you own, for every caliber specifically made for it, and you choose to get the multi-cal can to put it on a 5.5. Hot dog down a hallway. That's my thoughts, at least.
I think that it has. So I don't like the present Flow 5.56 offerings that are out there. Like, so I think that Flow 5.56 is. I think flow through technology for 5.56 is needed. Like if you shoot your duty gun or your main squeeze, your main rifle all the time. Like I don't shoot my ARs all the time because I don't like the gas going in my face. I think it's not that pleasant. And I have wanted to, use a Hux, but I'm not really pleased with the sound reduction on the Hux cans, on the Hux 5.56 cans. I played around with other ones like I really like the sound. I mean, and I've been doing this for a while. Like I've got the fucking Wolfman on one of my 5.56 builds back there because it suppresses 5.56 really well, but it is gassy as fuck. So when it came out, I was like, ooh, I can use that. I can use that on my AR, and I bet it'll suppress the sound well. And to me, it suppresses the sound. Maybe not as good as the Jumbo Shrimp, but you get no gas in your face. and I think it's better than the Flow 556 right now. But that's just me. I mean, I can, let's. The great thing about working yourself to death and owning a gun shop is you can pick out whatever you want and go shoot it on Sunday.
Play with all the toys.
Play with all the toys. So that's what I'll do, and I'm going to roll with that for a bit, and we'll see.
So you shot the 36.
I did.
Yeah.
I did. I put it. So I put it on my AR, and then I took off my jumbo shrimp. I shot my jumbo shrimp for a bit, took it off, put that on, shot it for a bit. And I was like, oh fuck, and I was like, shit. I think they sound the same.
Mm-hmm.
I think this one's a little better. And then I took it off and put the jumbo shrimp back on, and I was like, oh wait, the jumbo shrimp's probably a little better. And so the jumbo shrimp is shorter, lighter.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe it's not lighter, but it's just shorter, so it's more compact. It's definitely not as low back pressure. No, by no means. That one's probably going to get hotter. I haven't seen that. Like, I didn't mag dump with it. I didn't shoot fast, but I did enough with it where I was like, I want to try it. And so now it's on my gun. I'm going to completely sight my gun in a little better at Kevin's yardage on Sunday, and I'm going to try to get into it more. But I mean, I really think that I'll shoot my rifles more if I like my suppressors more on my 5.56 rifles. Like, I just don't like I shoot 9 and blackout so much, I think, more because I like the sound suppression more.
Yeah.
And I really want to shoot 5.56 more. But it's not my gig when you're fucking gas flying in your face and it's loud as fuck. And does that make sense?
Yeah.
I'm just a fucking weirdo, aren't I? I'm a weirdo FUD. Sure.
I think I like the Southpaw when it comes out.
Yeah, if we can ever fucking get the goddamn thing.
Thank you, Silencer Shop.
Yeah. So what do you guys think is going on with the government?
Odd question.
I mean, so look at what happened. So Kash Patel was confirmed today.
Mm.
Like, look at what's happening. So we have almost a popular uprising with the voting in America. You have 72 million people voted for Donald Trump. 72 million. He wins handedly after 2 assassination attempts. Everybody against him, he wins. And then he goes and gets every one of his appointees appointed except our buddy Matt Gaetz, who he really wanted. Right? So Elon Musk is basically in charge of the bureaucracy and is now auditing all of the bureaucracy and fucking firing everybody and doing crazy shit, right? You have Pete Hegseth, who's in charge of the military now. You have Pam Bondi, who's now in charge of the Justice Department. You have Kash Patel, who's now in charge of the FBI. You have Tulsi Gabbard, who is now in charge of the intelligence in the United States, which includes the CIA and everything else, CIA and the NSA. And then you have Robert F. Kennedy Jr. in charge of the Department of Health. So effectively, everything of the government, of the whole bureaucracy, is now completely controlled by Trump loyalists.
Don't know about that.
But
who's not a Trump loyalist?
Get rid of the garbage.
I wouldn't say the whole bureaucracy. I think there's still a lot of work to be done there.
100%. But have you ever seen? It's like a hostile takeover of it's a
100%.
hostile, friendly takeover of the government that it's never been. Like, for instance, the lead counsel of the ATF was fired today. Like, lead counsel of the ATF in charge of, God fucking bless, in charge of so the lead counsel of the ATF, those are the people that are in charge, who is the direct head of all the people that fucking make gun shops lose their license. That person fired today. Like, it's
thumbs up.
Yeah.
No. So what do you, I mean, is it, do you think it's too good to be true?
I think the biggest problem we're facing right now are people celebrating too early.
I'm not celebrating. I'm just asking.
No, I'm not just saying.
Luke is celebrating.
I'm not.
Well,
I saw Luke with a picture of Pete Hegseth at his desk.
He's my screensaver on my computer.
He's a pretty guy.
I think we're headed in a better direction than we've ever been heading in. I think it's going great so far, but the amount of times I see people saying, like, we'll never see a Democrat in office for the next 15 years. And it's like, I understand the sentiment behind it. But if you just think that that's the case just because we won this election and stop fighting for it,
yep,
they'll come around and bite you in the ass. I think that's I believe that's a lot of what happened in 2020.
Yep.
Where people were like, okay, we got Trump in office. And yes, every single media outlet is lying about every single thing he's doing, but he's in office and we know that the things he's doing are good. So that's good enough and we'll win again. And fucking Biden comes on with 81 million votes, whatever the fuck it was. I think I foresee something similar happening if people start declaring victory too early. Like we're in what month? Fucking 2, 3?
Yeah, a couple weeks.
Yeah,
But I feel like
it's
he's
been-
putting in more work so that doesn't happen. Getting all, like Will was just saying, getting all his guys in.
Oh yeah.
So in these 4 years, we'll realize how much better things are with Republicans in. And then I am one of those people. I don't think Democrats will win next couple elections.
The appointees are insane. Like it's really amazing. Like
Mhm.
when you have, because you would think he couldn't get anybody in. Like you thought, like I thought, no fucking way, Kash
Yeah.
Patel, no way. Especially, did you see the senators go after him?
Mhm.
Like, you see the senators go after RFK? I mean, these people are pissed.
RFK one was really funny.
Oh, all of them. It's the funniest thing that I saw. I saw somebody like a meme, like where you had what's her name, Elizabeth Warren, like pissed off about Doge, and somebody was like, "You're just mad because Vivek's a real Indian." That was the funniest fucking thing ever.
The Doge thing is very interesting to see play out in real time because it's like it reminds me of that one scene in Matrix where Morpheus is taking Neo along on the little simulation run, the lady with the red dress,
Mhm.
and he's talking about how everybody who's plugged into the Matrix that hasn't been pulled out of it will die. They will defend the Matrix to the death because it's the only reality they've ever known. And I see that happening in real life where people are straight up looking at the highest level of government corruption that's been uncovered. And this is probably just the tip of the iceberg. And they're defending the government corruption just because it's anti-Trump and that's what they believe in or whatever. Like the whole thing of they will straight up look at, hey, looks like we've been paying out Social Security checks to like fucking 60,000 people that are over 200 years old or whatever it is. Don't quote me on the numbers on that.
Yeah.
And they're like, they're making it harder for seniors to get their Social Security benefits. Like, are you
like and all the like motherfucker, like you really give a fuck about old people?
I mean,
No, but like I see that, like I saw that irritating congressperson, who's always on the enemy's channel. Like she was just bitching about and talking about how people aren't going to have their money. I'm like, motherfucker, you don't give a fuck about old people.
just seeing people absolutely lose their minds and straight up like anything Trump says, they want the opposite of. And it's like that one, I forget the acronym for it, but that one way that you can have a kid that he just made more accessible and cheaper.
Invertero or Invertro, whatever.
That one.
Apparently it's really cheap in Sarasota.
Oh, cool. But like they ran on the thing that Trump is going to ban that, and he makes it easier to access and more affordable, and suddenly they're against it. Like their whole, no matter what he does, the party position is just the opposite of what he's doing. The same thing with Ukraine. He is working out peace dealings, and suddenly the people don't want peace in Ukraine. They want the war to continue going on. Right. The same thing, like he sorted out a ceasefire deal, and looks like that ceasefire is, we'll see on Saturday, I think.
No, it was already on Saturday.
Oh, yeah. Whatever it is, like it's suddenly, no matter what the position he takes, they're against it. And I feel like some of the people know exactly what it is they're doing and are just playing politics, but a majority of the people that are still on the left are genuinely, I don't know if their brain just doesn't compute, but they can't see how insane it is, the things that they're saying, the things that they're defending. I don't even think they're paying attention to what it is that they're angry about. They're just being told to be angry about something, and they're being angry about it.
I think that, so what I see is, number one, we don't really know. Like what comes out is, and something I notice is all the people who are bitching are old people and like older lesbians. older lesbians, older black ladies, and old people, and fucking like basically just fuds. Like you don't see like the hip. I don't see hip influencers. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like I'm sure there's somewhere, but like you don't see like there's no fucking anti Joe Rogan. There's no bizarro world Joe Rogan. There's no equivalent. Like there's nobody cool is coming after him.
I'll take that. The Democrats have no one. Like,
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
well, so that's what I'm saying is like, so you see like the Trump derangement syndrome or this fucking like, and I get it. Like how could anybody support the war in Ukraine at this point? How could anybody support giving billions of dollars to people who like we've given them $300 billion. They can't account for $150 billion of the dollars. Right. Zelensky has canceled all elections for the last 2 years. They have weaponized their government against the Orthodox Church. Like, how could anybody support the war in Ukraine? And you have people like Elizabeth Warren and Chuck Schumer and like old fuddy fucking liberals still support it, but you don't see like the emerging class of influencers. Like there's nobody cool out there. Like they're not popping up anywhere. Like you don't like fucking like who's that skinny gay guy?
that does not narrow it down at all.
Who did the Bud Light commercials?
The Dylan
Mulberry. Yeah, like there's no like Dylan Mulberry's like talking like we got to give money to Ukraine. Well, you see. So what I'm saying is that maybe that is a glimmer of hope. That their hustle right now is just to inundate us with dopey shit, right? Like they're just inundating us with all these old fuddy people saying like all this shit is like Elon's bad and we need to give money to Ukraine and like Mike Pence and shit.
Mm-hmm.
But in reality, the rest of the population is like, I don't know, because it is not cool anymore to be into liberalism, right? The coolness has gone away. It's not like you don't see it because at the end of the day, these people, they want clicks, they want views, they want monetization, and you're not going to get that by being a weirdo liberal anymore.
That's true.
Because you would see it. You would see it in your feed, and you don't see it in your feed. You see the old fucking. You see people like Elizabeth Warren saying we should be mad that Elon Musk is uncovering corruption. You know what I mean? Maybe it's a glimmer of hope. I'm not saying that you don't be wary of, and we don't rest on our laurels. Believe me. I mean, I'm forever. It's my job to be paranoid about what the government can do to me. Right? I have to be paranoid at all times because they might come in and. Anyway.
One thing I want to add to that is I would not judge what you think is going on in the world based on your specific feed, because every single feed, no matter what platform it is based on an algorithm that rewards echo chambers.
I base it on what I see my kids, my wife, you know, like what my wife, because my wife is a big, and TikTok.
But even then, like what I'm trying to get at is try to imagine just a leftist person, a standard old person who their feed is the complete opposite, where they don't see anything positive about any of the things that we see are positive about. All they are seeing, because it's all echo chambers, it only shows you what you want to see, what confirms your pre-existing beliefs. So all they're seeing all day is, well, Trump is defying the Constitution. It's a constitutional crisis. Elon Musk is stealing your personal information for benefit.
Do you have an X account?
Yeah.
So my X account is old liberal people bitching about Elon Musk, RFK Jr., Tulsi Gabbard. Like I've got a lot of liberal. I don't know why, but I have a ton of liberal people in my, like, for you, it's liberal people.
The only reason I say it is I personally subscribe to the idea of know thy enemy.
But
I specifically follow as many leftist pages as I can to see what it is that they are talking about, and hasn't gotten any better since the election. It is always just, again, what I keep seeing the most is there's a constitutional, and there's people that genuinely believe that this is the reality that they're living in. Is there's currently a constitution crisis where Trump is trying to be a king and he's defying all other branches and trying to give all the branches power to the executive. And meanwhile, Elon Musk is digging through and hacking and destroying the social security network and stealing everybody's personal information.
He already has everybody's personal information from PayPal. He already has it.
And X now.
Not to mention you're on X too. He already has your info. Who gives a fuck?
People don't make these connections. All they hear are buzzwords and talking points, and they parrot them. And like I said, just because it's not cool right now, because we're so fast off the election and we're still in that period where the America patriotism, all that 100% great. 2 years from now, the people that you're not seeing anymore will reemerge with the same bullshit lies. Because again, I don't personally believe they learned anything from this election, and they will just double down on it and go harder. And in your mind, it will not see like there's any future to this, and these people are just insane people, which they are. And
Insane.
Nobody will ever vote for their party again. But I'd like to remind you of 2020, where if you just ignore these people and pretend that they don't exist, they multiply because they parrot their talking points and spread it to people. And these people, usually, if you're voting Democrat, you're not very politically informed. You're just taking whatever is said to you at face value and thinking that that's the reality of the situation. And these people vote the exact same way you do.
What do you think, Luke?
I mean, I think they could say the same thing about us, though. Like they say that you're not informed, you're not politically informed. And I also think that Elon it's the bad optics for Trump. I think he's doing a great job. I think maybe we'll get
He's too weird, right?
He's too weird.
He's too fucking weird.
He did the Roman salute at that thing, which was really crazy. And then if you're like a liberal and all you see on the news is, or all you hear about is how Trump's going to, help out billionaires and, the Republican Party only cares about the rich. And then he goes and, puts the world's richest man in charge of
like finding ways.
I can see why people are skeptical, but at the same time,
have you guys ever talked to my stepkid Ian about Elon Musk?
Yeah.
How much he hates him. He
Yeah.
fucking hates that guy.
I mean, I can see why people are skeptical, but I mean, the stuff they're uncovering is just
it's
insane.
crazy.
And I think it's all, there are CIA ops that they're not actually doing a trans Elmo in
No, it's that's the one thing that I worry about is all this money is for black ops.
Right.
The majority of all this money is just it's funneling, programs that I think. But if we go through all of it and stop it, are the CIA guys going to only not have any money? or they won't have as much money?
I think the CIA has a big enough pull in the DoD.
Yeah, okay.
I think these ones.
Absolutely.
I think the programs that are being slashed at the beginning here are mainly just
what do you
lawmakers profiting.
What do you guys think of Anna Paulina?
Awesome.
She looks good. I don't know anything else about her. She just looks good.
Well, she's in charge of
God damn.
Yeah, she's in charge of what is it, Luke? What is she in charge? She's in charge of all. She's like the secret czar.
Yeah.
Like she is supposed to look through the Trump assassination, the RFK assassination,
JFK
assassination, all the and UFOs and disseminate the information to us.
Is no one freaking out about the fact that she just straight up said, yeah, there's 2 shooters?
Not yet, because everybody was like, oh yeah, we knew that.
Well, yeah, it's cool that everybody like that. I saw that in my feed, and then I just scrolled on to the next reel, and it's like a guy cooking bacon on his car or whatever. It's like, wait a minute, did I hear that right? And I scroll back, and it's like, yeah, we believe that there's 2 shooters. The information here points to the Secret Service being involved. Like, is no one talking about?
No,
this?
there's a video that is probably right of the driver shooting him in the head. What more will come out? It's just at least it's going to be interesting. At least like life isn't going to be boring for a while.
Oh yeah,
that's good.
Life is not going to be boring for a while. We're going to have cool stuff to do. The one thing that like, so I'm always worried about, my business and always worrying about like it not selling enough. And, like it's very stressful having to do this. But, the thing that I've noticed the most is just the radicalization of people and the, like, people are radicalized everywhere. Like everybody is just this close to violence, and they're willing to hurt each other. And so, which I understand, like, and it's not going to stop because people, you see videos after videos of people calling for violence against the president, people calling for violence against Elon Musk, and people are like, yeah, let's do that, and so I think, oh fuck, there's not going to be any shortage of gun buyers for anytime soon. But you guys ever heard the earring in the titty story?
What a segue.
I heard that.
So I thought I would tell this story, and it's referred to infamously as the earring in the titty story. So here goes. So back in 1993. And so I was living in Tampa, Florida, and I was a senior at the University of South Florida majoring in history, and I was going to summer school. And it was May, and because summer school started early. And previously during the Hurricane Andrew, my stepdad at the time, this guy named Jimmy, found a 7-foot female boa constrictor in Miami underneath a destroyed house. And he brought it home thinking he could sell it for like $1,000. Once he quickly realized that nobody's going to buy his snake, he was like, "You want it?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'll take it." So I had this snake all throughout college. His name was Kane. And me being a typical ruffian from Bradenton, Florida, I power fed the damn thing, and it grew to a healthy 9 feet, right? Thick. And I would feed it, liberally, and I lived in a bad part of Tampa because that's all my dad would give me the money to pay for it. I lived in a really bad, it was a place called Suitcase City. And it was called Suitcase City because you would only live there as long to live out of a suitcase. We got broken into twice, right? Like my car got broken into multiple times. My house got broken into twice. Then they didn't take anything. I think they may have taken a stereo. And they used my backpack. It sucked. I had a Camel backpack from smoking Camel cigarettes, and the thieves used my backpack to take my stereo, but whatever. So in the hood, cats would kind of find out, like stray cats would always come to your house and try to like make you be their friend. You know what I mean? Because they would see if you had another cat or a dog, and if you didn't, they would kind of hang out. And we had like a series of cats, and I had one cat, and we named him Toonses, right? And so one day in May, and in May in Tampa, it's really hot because of however the wind is and shit. And I'm sitting there high as a kite because I used to smoke pot back then, and it's after a class one day, and I'm playing Tecmo Bowl with the Bucks, trying to win the Super Bowl, which you could never do. And I'm eating tofu mac and cheese because I was a vegetarian at the time. And the cat flew from one side of the living room to the other side where I'm playing Tecmo Bowl, lands on my knee, and then tries to get the food. And I'm like, "Get away, cat." And I just move the cat. And so I play Tecmo Bowl for probably another 2 hours and my buzz goes away. And I haven't smoked pot for 30 years, or since this time. And I go looking for the cat and I can't find it. So now remember, this is May. So every window is shut tight. Every door is shut tight, and the doors are locked because it's fucking Suitcase City. Right. And I'm like, "Where's the fucking cat?" So I look under the refrigerator. I look everywhere for about an hour. And then I'm like, "Oh fuck, I own a 9-foot boa constrictor." So I go in my room and believe it or not, I would leave the cage open because snakes will get as big as their cage. And I wanted my snake to get huge. So I let the cage and I'd let my snake crawl around my house. It was disgusting, but I did. And snakes do a thing where after they eat, they'll coil and they'll put their head over the body of whatever they ate. And my snake was big enough to where it kind of looked like it was doing it, but I didn't believe it. And so my snake was coiled. Its head was over where probably the cat might have been. And I was like, "Wow, And what I did since I had a cat is I always tried to make sure my snake was fed to the max so it wouldn't be hungry. And I was like, I just fucking fed you. There's no way you ate the cat. So I thought there's no way. I must have been really, really high and let the cat out, and the cat disappeared. So this is May. August rolls around, and I don't know, like like for some reason I realize my snake hasn't taken a shit since I don't know, March. And I'm like, wow, that's kind of weird. And somebody mentions it, and so I'm like, well, maybe I should go find a snake doctor. So I do, right down Fowler Avenue, and I can't remember the guy's name, but I call him Dr. Umfufu. He was from South Africa, and so I call the guy up. I'm like, hey, I think something's wrong with my snake. So I bring my snake in there, and Dr. Umfufu is like, has anything happened lately? Has he eaten anything? I'm like, no, I feed him all the time, and nothing strange. And like, has anything disappeared? Do you think? And I'm like, well, my cat disappeared back in May. And he's like, Mr. Mead, that is it. Your snake ate your cat. And I said, there's no way, Dr. Umfufu, that didn't happen. He's like, no, I've seen it before. This is bad. If you do not find a way to make the snake pass the cat, we will have to go in and operate and do snake enema. I'm like, that's fucking, I don't have any money. I'm like, well, how much is that, Dr. Mfufu? And I think he said something like $1,400. I'm like, I don't have that much money. I said, well, I'm fucked. And he's like, I have a plan. So he's like, the first thing you must do is you must take a rat and grease it and give it to your snake. So I took a rat, I Criscoed it, went home, got a rat, Criscoed it, fed it, nothing happened. Called him up, like Dr. Mfufu, nothing happened. And he's like, okay, the next thing you do is you take the snake outside and you chase it like this and that. I said, okay, why am I gonna do that? He's like, hopefully the movement will make it pass. So I lived in the hood, and it was me, my roommate, and then nothing but black folks, and they gave me the name, all the kids in the area, as Earring in the Titty, because I had pierced nipples at the time, and I'd walk around with my shirt on, and they called me Earring in the Titty. So there were these little black kids who were like, they would come up to me and like, Earring in the Titty, Earring in the Titty. That's what they would say. So I came outside, and they're like, Earring in the Titty, Earring in the Titty. What are you doing? And I pull the snake out, and they're like, ah! And they run. And they're like, what are you doing? I said, well, my snake's constipated. What does that mean, Earring in the Titty? I'm like, well, it means my snake can't shit. Whoa. I think it ate my cat. Yo, cat toonses? Like, yeah, the cat that disappeared. Oh, so I put the snake down, let it run, and it doesn't happen. And I fucking go back depressed. And so I call the doctor in Fufu the next day. I'm like, look, fucking didn't work. And he's like, okay, this is bad. This is bad, Mr. Mead. You must get it in water and let it swim. And I'm like, oh, fuck. Okay. So he's like, do you have a pool? I'm like, well, not really. And he's like, well, use a bathtub.
Mm-hmm.
Try the bathtub, call him up, doesn't work. And he's like, you got to try the pool. So I'm like, okay, fuck. So it's Sunday, I think. I put my snake in my big skateboard bag and I carry it out, and there's my little friends. Earring your titty, Earring your titty. What are you doing? You don't go to the pool. And I'm like, I got to put the snake in the pool. And they're like, why? Because it can't shit. I'm like, yeah, because it can't shit. Okay. So I go and then like, it's like a Yo MTV Raps video at the pool. Like everybody's barbecuing, everybody's there, and everybody's like, hi, Earring the Titty. Because that was my name. And they're like, hi. And they're like, what you doing? You don't come to the pool. And then the kids are like, Earring the Titty snake is constipated. That means it can't shit. And so I'm like, they're like, what? And so then I take the snake out of the bag, pull it out, and then I start going into the water, and the whole pool fucking, and everybody's screaming, and everybody's like, they're like, ah, and they're all on the thing. And so I go down, I don't know. And looking back at it lately, I'm like, what the fuck was I thinking doing that?
Yeah.
Pulling a fucking snake out, pulling a 9-foot boa constrictor out in the public pool at the apartment complex, but I did it. And then I get in the water, and Kane is just swimming and having the best time. And I'm there for like 5 minutes, and everybody's just kind of looking. And then Earring the Titty, or the little kids say, Earring the Titty, Earring the Titty, your snake's taking a shit. And I'm like, what? No, it's not. I look down, and this big fucking glob that looked like a cat comes out of its ass and lands on the bottom of the pool.
Ooh.
And I'm like, oh my God.
Pool's closed.
Oh my God. So then I quickly grab the snake, throw it in the bag, fucking zip the bag up, and head book out of there and go back to my apartment. Clean it up. And that is my earring.
He ruined the barbecue.
And that is my earring in the titty story. That really happened.
I'm just imagining it from their perspective. Like,
Right?
It's like, hey, do you remember that crazy white boy with the long hair and the fucking earrings in his titties came out and put the snake in the fucking pool? You remember that?
And he shit a cat out.
Shit a cat out. Ruined the pool all summer. Fuck, that was 1993. And we are going to call it. We want to thank you for watching Huxwrx Tactical episode 30. Look for guests in the coming weeks. I have some big plans that I want to get accomplished. Huxwork Day is Saturday. We'd love for you to come. If you don't make it to this event, we always do events. I have Thermal Day coming, Daniel Defense Day, SIG Day, a bunch of things planned for the summer. Also, we do have, you guys know, Second Amendment summer where there's going to be no tax on certain things. But we appreciate you. If you can, like our page, share the video to anybody if you think it's cool. Put a comment in the comment section if you don't think we're cool or if you think we're cool. And we hope to see you again. I'm Will from Shark Coast, and I'm out.
Peace.
We'll see you again.